So we've knocked out some of the bigger suppliers from this farm, so that's probably going to be thousands of pounds every single year already.
Hi Beautiful Beans, it's Rebecca, Vegan Pixie Warrior. Today I'm going to a farm in Daventry. So it's a farm called Berryfields. It's a dairy farm, it's a US style mega farm. The event is run by a group called the Animal Justice Project, and they do a lot of investigations. They've been investigating there for 5 months and found some pretty horrendous stuff going on. They had an event a couple of weeks ago, and they had a lot of support from local people because it had been in the local press, so they'd been made aware of it. They were really hardworking and really important. They have a Facebook page. I'll pop that in the link below at the end of this video. And this is my friend Gawain, who we're going with.
Hey!
So he's taking me to the event. He went a couple of weeks ago, and yeah. So I will show you what happens later.
On the day of our last demonstration 3 weeks ago, we launched our new petition online to close this place down. Had nearly 3,000 people who have signed that already. If you've not already signed it, please do so and share it as well. Our main objective, obviously, is to close this farm down for good. So what we found on this farm was absolutely horrific, and the animals here have awful lives. Over the coming weeks, what we want to do, we are back here again today because we want to keep on the pressure to Berryfields Farm. We don't want an investigation and then just let our findings die down. We want them to take responsibility and to shut this place down. We want justice for the cows that we filmed here. Since the last demonstration here 3 weeks ago, just a few updates. We've had confirmation from Sainsbury's saying that they're never going to use Berryfields Farm in the future. Tesco has dropped the farm and seized all relationships with them as well. Lidl has dropped the farm. They've confirmed with us this week that they're not going to be supplying from them again. Wetherspoons has also dropped the farm, and this week we've also had confirmation from Co-op that they have dropped the farm and they will never have a relationship with Berryfields in the future. We've knocked out some of the bigger suppliers from this farm. That's probably going to be thousands of pounds every single year already that this farm's going to be losing out on. The places that we currently can't get confirmation from who possibly still have a relationship with Berryfields is currently Morrison's, Ocado, Burger King and Asda. We're going to keep on at them to get them to drop Berryfields. We're going to try and confirm their relationships, and then we'll keep you updated on social media as well and through email to see what their relationship is, and hopefully we can pressure them into dropping them as well, because the biggest thing we can do for this farm is to cut off all of their supply chain, because then they'll basically just go under, and then hopefully at some point we can step in and find places for the calves that are on these farms. Just going to go into a little bit of detail regarding the investigation. As part of the Expired campaign, we did investigate 2 red tractor assured farms. We investigated Badgers Cross Farm, which is a rearing farm. So they're based down in Somerset, and the second farm was here, Berryfields Farm. Why did we choose Berryfields? Berryfields Farm is a mega farm. Mega farms are currently on the increase in the UK. This farm raises 4,500 cows every single year. Compared to a regular beef farm, it's about 10 times the size. This is an industrial scale farm, much larger than any regular beef farm. The other thing is they're also a zero grazing farm. Despite all of the green fields that are around us, the cows are actually locked in concrete pens for the full time that they're here, and they never get to go out and graze, which is the most basic natural behaviour of any cow. Once they get to 12 to 18 months old, then they are sent to slaughter. They were sent into Foyle's food group and they suspended Berryfields. Currently we're trying to confirm that relationship as well, so hopefully they'll keep them off their books, because then even if they do continue to raise cows, they're finding it much harder to be able to slaughter the cows and obviously make their money back. Yeah, as I said, these mega farms are increasing in the UK. So from 2017, there was nearly 800 mega farms in the UK. Many of these are chicken and pig farms, but there are quite a few beef farms as well. They are increasing. We need to investigate these now before they start increasing, and we need to show people that this is not the way forward for farming in the UK. The second main reason that we chose this farm is because one of the major sources of their cows is through the dairy industry. This farm fattens up male dairy calves. Most people think that male dairy calves are killed on farm or are sent to slaughterhouses or exported overseas, but actually that accounts for quite a small proportion of these calves each year. We know that over 1 million male dairy calves enter the beef system each year. That's over 50%, and we know that up to 60% of the British beef herd currently is male dairy calves. The dairy industry is propping up the beef industry, and the two industries, they could no longer exist independently, and they're basically merging into one industry. To any vegetarians that consume dairy, or obviously meat eaters that consume meat and dairy, if you are paying for dairy, you're also paying for these cows to be fattened up for beef as well. The conditions on this farm, I'm sure you've seen already on the placards and on our investigation videos. The conditions were absolutely atrocious. There was no clean bedding. They lay on mounds of feces. The cows were just left to suffer. They had overgrown hooves. Wounds on the sides of the cows were left to go untreated for many weeks. We filmed on this farm for over a period of 5 months. So we did follow individuals, you can see on some of the placards. We did name 5 individuals, and we have been telling their story over the last couple of weeks on social media and through our mailing list. Just to show that these cows have been left to suffer, we saw no obvious treatment to any of these cows. Another important thing is that we filmed lame cows that are being loaded up for slaughter. So this is just point blank illegal. The pens themselves were, as I said, they were just covered in feces. Many of the sheds have very poor roofs. They have huge holes. When it rains, the cows just get rained on. Many of the outer pens have no shelter at all. The drinkers were contaminated. They were filthy. They were also overflowing. In terms of the workers here, we filmed many times that the workers, it was quite commonplace for them to punch the cows, twist their tails to cause pain. They were kicking the cows, they were throwing buckets in their faces. This was all to make the cows do things that they didn't want to do, especially walking through the cattle cush, for example. And comments from our vets basically said, you know, the cows didn't want to go through because they were scared, because the system on the farm wasn't set up appropriately to make cows feel comfortable and relaxed. Therefore, they were having to hit and punch the cows to make them do what they wanted to do. We filmed much more than what I'm going to cover today, because obviously I don't want to make everybody really distressed, but it is important to understand why we're here today. You can see that on our investigation video and on our websites. If you check out expiredcampaign.org or check out any of our social media, please feel free to share all of our posts, the videos as well. It's so important that we get more of this information out there. One of our biggest messages as well is to say that this is not the kind of option for these male dairy calves. People think that because they're not shot at 1 or 2 days old, this is the better life for them. But as we've shown on the rearing farm, we've shown on the fattening farm, that they just have a life of misery, and this is not a good life for any individual. So this will never be a kind of option for any cow on this farm. Just a quick mention about the owner of this farm, so John Bell. He's profiting on the back of these cows being abused from the calves that are being stolen from their grieving mothers on dairy farms. Still, 3 weeks later, he is denying any wrongdoing and is blaming a third party for the abuse that happened on his farm, on his watch. We filmed him watching these cows being abused by other workers, and he just stood back and did nothing, simply because abuse on farms is commonplace. He thinks it's absolutely fine to treat cows this way. We have multiple days footage, as I mentioned, of him watching these cows being abused right before his very eyes. We want justice for these cows. We're not gonna stop until we see justice for these cows. So we're going to keep on the pressure, as I said, to the different supply chains and to the farm directly, also to the slaughterhouse and to Red Tractor Assurance as well. And just to mention, this farm has been dropped from the Red Tractor Assurance scheme currently. it's quite likely that they will return and they will get reinstated by the insurance scheme. But we're going to do all we can to make sure that doesn't happen. The plan now, we're going to march down and go visit the calves. There's 2 pens of calves. Once we get down there, please be very slow moving and be quiet, and make sure if you're going to do any videos or photos, make sure there's no flash photography, because we don't want these cows to feel any more scared than they already are. It's important to know that these calves have never had a positive relationship with any human being before. They're going to be used to, you know, running away from humans and being quite flighty. If we can just show them a bit of, you know, kindness and compassion, which I know you will.
Hi guys, so that was the talk about all the work that the Animal Justice Project have done. I will pop a link, as I said before, in the description so you can check them out and support them, sponsor them and get involved in some of their actions. They are an amazing bunch of activists, really, really fierce, but look at all the people that are here. Look at that. Let's do a pan view. There's a lot of people here today, a lot of people here out to speak for the animals and to fight for the animals. We've held signs on the road and people have beeped their cars and waved, and loads of support, which is incredible. It's just incredible. But we're going to head on down to the farm, so I'll put the camera back on when we get there. Bye! Shut down Berryfields! Shut down Berryfields! Shut down Berryfields! Shut down Berryfields! Shut down Berryfields!
This is where all the male dairy calves are. And here it goes all the way back to the innocent babies, and this is what the Animal Justice Project are trying to expose. What's going on? They're so scared of humans because of the way they've been treated. They don't deserve this. Oh look, there's one saying hello. They're so beautiful. Cows are just like overgrown dogs.
Giant puppies, aren't they?
Yeah, giant puppies, just beautiful animals.
Yeah, we know you are.
And we need more people to expose places like this. So this is Berryfields, and this is another pen where the babies are being kept. Fatten up. These are all sons of dairy calves, or dairy cows, sorry. And they're being fattened up to go into the beef industry. I always thought that they were shot, but this is, like I said earlier, it's a kind of a US style mega farm. I'm just looking right at me. They're just petrified of humans because of the way they're treated here. And they'll be here for like a year to fatten up, and then they will be moved on to be killed for beef. We need to stop this, and we need more activists exposing it. There are ways that you can expose this. You don't have to come to the farm. You can share the footage around. You can speak to people about footage that you've seen and make them aware. So there are so many ways to get involved. So many.
Somebody take a picture quick. Somebody take a picture quick.
So this is Sue, and you can see that the calves are so young, they're still trying to get their mother's milk. So they're currently sucking Sue's hand. There's a few more coming over.
Desperately. This one.
There's another one here.
This one. It's okay.
And it's just
It's
heartbreaking.
crying. Its eyes are crying.
Oh,
Oh my God. It's crying. It's crying. Sorry, darling. This one's actually crying. We'll fight for you. Beautiful, you kissed me first. Beautiful tongue.
So they put this hay down for us. When the activists were here a little while ago, this was just concrete. So they had no
411284 is the number of this beautiful, beautiful calf. I promise to fight for your brothers and sisters until I've got no breath left. I promise you. I'm sorry, this one is the one that's crying. Can you see the tears?
Yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Hello, darling.
And they've all got this awful cough. Because if they had their mother's milk, they would be immune to any infection. And this one's at it again. Look, it's come back for more.
So you've got all these cows in here, right? And at the back there is their water trough. We've got cows and babies and stuff in there. But that is their water source for all of these babies, all of them. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting.